So that's it on Loki. So let's go ahead and move on to what's next on the list. This guy, Superman and Lois. So I saw the first 5 episodes of this series, Superman and Lois, and I have to say I like it. It's pretty damn good. I really like how this explores an alternate aspect of Superman that we don't usually see. We usually actually see the origin story of Superman. It feels like all the time they're going to give you the origin story. And, and this is actually different. This is Clark Kent and Lois Lane. I'm going to go over the story, so if you don't want to be spoiled, just know I'm going to start spoiling stuff for stuff that came out like 3 months ago. Lois Lane and Clark Kent are married. They've been together for a while. They have 2 teenage sons, so they've been together probably at least 20 years, probably something in that range. I don't know if it's firmly established. But the sons, there's Jonathan and Jordan. Jonathan is a football player. He's actually a football star, and he does really well. And Jordan kind of just is a loner. Because of his football skills, Clark and Lois largely suspect that perhaps Jonathan has inherited some of his father's abilities. They don't know he's Superman, but they start looking at the sons and what happens, and there's an accident out in the barn where Jordan is almost, like part of the barn almost falls on Jordan. To digress a little bit, it's because they need to do something with the router that's out in the barn. Now, if you know anything about internet, why you'd put a router in the barn is one of the most idiotic things I've ever heard in my life. Completely baffling. Maybe you put a secondary router out in the barn if you want internet in the barn, but like your main internet would not be from the barn. That you put that in the middle of your house. But anyways, I go back. There's an accident. Part of the barn almost falls on Jordan, and Jonathan jumps in and saves him, and falls on them, and they're fine. And as the story evolves, what we actually end up finding out is that Jordan, part of the reason why he's more like shut down is because he doesn't have massive amounts of abilities, but he does have some of his dad's abilities. As the series progresses, we kind of see that. And the barn accident, like Jonathan jumped in, but Jordan was the one that actually protected him. So the big twist at the end of the pilot is that Jonathan doesn't have his dad's powers. Jordan does. But it's not a lot. It's a little bit, but it's enough. So what I find most interesting about that's kind of the setup for the series. Oh yeah, and side thought, there is a Lex Luthor here, and it kind of baffled me. The guy, what was the guy's name? Will Park was cast as Lex Luthor in this series, which really baffled me since John Cryer played the role in Supergirl. And it's the same universe, unless the universe jumped again and I missed it. Last time I saw anything from this universe was Crisis. But that kind of baffled me. But very quickly, it's kind of established that this must be an alternate reality Lex Luthor. And this actually seems like this is probably a Lex Luthor who's actually from a reality where he's a good guy and Superman's the villain. And that is interesting. And that dynamic's more interesting. We haven't... I don't know if it's been seen in the series. Like I said, I'm 5 episodes in. Clark and Lex, this alternate reality Lex Luthor, have not had any meaningful conversations other than Lex is trying to track down Superman. And what else? But that is a dynamic I am very interested in seeing how that happens, how that evolves. Now, some minuses is this Superman costume is not very good looking. Lots of people are complaining about how it's a muscle suit, and usually my defense is, Henry Cavill's definitely wearing a muscle suit too. Now, both are true. Both these guys are actually really well built, but they're both actually also wearing muscle suits. But the thing is, with this costume, it really kind of does look like a Halloween costume. It looks not particularly great. Let me see if I can actually take advantage of this software to kind of show you what it looks like real fast. But it's mainly like the logo in the middle does not look, it doesn't look good. It looks like some sort of screen printed thing. Here's a picture. Let me go ahead and bring that up so that the people on the podcast will get nothing from this. I can show you guys. But what it looks like to me is mainly kind of like a nice Halloween costume, which is certainly not what they're going for. Why'd they have to pop up right there? There we go. Now, like in the show especially, it doesn't look terrible here, but in the show especially, you can kind of tell that it just all kind of looks printed. And it's not a good, like the actual design of the costume, the coloration of the costume, these are perks. But it looks printed, it looks like something like corporate made, it doesn't look like something space made, or it doesn't look like something homemade. Kind of when you do a Superman costume, it needs to look like super like sci-fi, like something that's impossible to be made, that Jor-El made for him, or it needs to look like something his mom made. And this kind of looks like a mix in the middle, and it doesn't quite work for me. Like I said, I like the coloration, I like the general design of it, but it doesn't quite work for me. And I hate to say that, because like I say, I like this show. It's a good show. And I really like the family dynamic. What I find interesting is how Jonathan, in particular, he has lots of issues because Jordan actually decides he does like football. He really enjoys it. And it's kind of unfair because he does have, like, he's not remotely as powerful as his dad, but he does have abilities. And Jonathan is really starting to feel overshadowed by Jordan. And you can tell, like, they write the character with nuance. Like, he knows it's not Jordan's fault that he's doing so well. But still, it's not working for him. He's getting overshadowed, and he doesn't want to be a jerk about it, but he's not digging it. And, sometimes it's outbursts, but lots of times it's him, like, trying to be reasonable about this. And I really appreciate that. It would be easy to just write the teenage character as just kind of like a jerk. Just like, how dare you, I'm always going to be a jerk. And that's not how they're writing. And I like the family dynamic. About the only member of the family I'm not really enjoying, probably because it's written that way, would be the character of Lois's father, who is kind of just written kind of like almost how you'd expect them to write a character like that, who's kind of antagonistic. He works with Superman, and he's in the military. He works with Superman. He points out big problems, and he's like, Superman needs to prioritize this. He can't be, off of his family. And, I don't know. I feel like the actor does a good job. He's well cast for the role. What's his name? It's John McNamara from Nip Tuck. I want to say Dylan Walsh. I think that's it. Dylan Walsh. He does a good job, but he's kind of a generic jerk, and I wish there's a bit more to him. They'll probably give more to him. Like I said, I'm only 5 episodes in, but overall, I'm very much enjoying it. I do plan on watching more. So I'll probably talk about the rest of the season. I don't know how many episodes there'll be in the season. At some other point. But like I said, I'm really enjoying this. I like it, just a different aspect of Superman's life. And one funny thing, this is the older Superman and Lois, yet both these actors are younger than Henry Cavill and Amy Adams, who are kind of still going over the origin in the DCEU. Just a funny fact. But anyways, it's an interesting look at Superman's life, an alternate take of Superman's life, and I'm really enjoying it. I want to go ahead and add some audio credits at the end here. The theme music you're hearing at the beginning and end of this podcast was written and performed by George Johnson, a very good friend of mine. And my current Patreons are Fel Martins, David Lara, and Lindsay Pankhurst. If you'd like to become a patron, go ahead and follow the link down below. Anything you can provide would be incredibly helpful to this channel. We're barely limping by right now. I'd love to make this my full-time job. I'm miles away from that right now. So any help you could provide, just $1 a month would be amazing. You know you want to. All your friends are doing it.